How's everybody doing? How's it going? Guess what? Guess what I'm doing? Welcome to Fuck It Fridays. What's better than that? Had this idea because a lot of you have messaged me saying, I miss what you did in COVID because I was on literally online for, 2 to 3 times a week, sharing information, sharing crazy stuff, processing things. And it's about time to bring that back because we all need it. Why not? And why not stay on brand with Fuck It Fridays? Here we go. This is what's going to happen every Friday. I'm going to try to keep it the same time, but who knows? My schedule's so funky in a good way that I have to be different places. So I'm going to try it in the morning, see if I can make that happen. And every Friday, if you want to message me about shit that happened during the week that you're like, I can't fucking believe this. Can you believe this happened? Message me, tell me a story, and we'll talk about it. And then I'll start rolling out ways you can heal yourself with your body. Mm-hmm. Right. On point, on brand, all good. So I'll come here every Friday. The one I have this week is pretty entertaining because it happened this week. And here's the thing. When we talk about Fuck It Fridays, like I feel like we're in this realm right now of the world where like COVID happened. There was so much politics that happened. There was so much racial stuff, injustice that happened, serious stuff that happened where Black people were murdered. And now we're all like in this phase of, is COVID over? What does my life mean? I don't feel good in my body. What does that mean? I feel stuck all the time. Parenting feels different. What is that now, right? Because we were immersed in a very different way of being parents, and now we have to shift and adjust. What does it mean to be with people, right? So it's our energy around how we even touch people. I don't mean that in a weird, funky, sexual way. I mean like hug, like people pause when they hug, right? That is the saddest thing to me in the world now. There isn't this natural flow of human connection that there used to be. That needed a whole revamp anyway. So there's just all these questions happening now about what's happening. And lots of people's mental health is legit breaking down. I mean, decompensating. I can't tell you how many people I've helped to hospitalize in the past 6 months. Emergency rooms are not filled with broken ankles. They are filled with help my mental health get back on track. Help me feel like myself again. That's a scary place to be for the person, but also for the communities that are trying to heal in the world. That's a very different level of human existence and experience in the world. It makes everything scary and it makes everything feel afraid. And sometimes we find ourselves in these moments like I did this week with like, there are simple, rational answers to lots of things, yet things seem so hard. So I figure, why don't we just put that all on the table and talk and laugh about it and get our bodies like back in the space where we can take that in and like really look at how silly it is and start to move in a way that can heal us all. So that's why I'm doing Fuck It Fridays. So the Fuck It Friday I have for you, the topic of today is everything is fluid, because everything is fluid. During COVID and all this stuff, like people got so divided. Like, I mean, they joined a camp and then they held on to that camp so much so that it's like became their life's mission, right? So a lot of the Trump happened there. Storming the Capitol was quite an experience and exercise of that. What happened was humans got really stuck in fear, like stuck in it because they didn't know how else to exist during those times. I mean, it's still hard, right? There's still things happening. There's a lot of stuff going on that is a continuation of all that stuff. So it feels like people got on the side of, cops, got on the side of, Republican, Democrat. People got on a side. They picked their lane and they are going to hang on to it, and they're going to fuck anyone else that gets in their way. That's not how humans operate. That is from a fear and lack and scarcity mindset that does not heal the world and does not even flow in the way that humans were created. It is literally a place in which it's like when trauma gets in your way and you operate from a trauma lens versus a healed lens. That's what's happening. That's what's happening to 99.1 of us right now, or whatever the number is, whether we like it or not. I got caught up in it too. I'm more aware of it now, but I certainly got caught up in the hustle mindset. I got caught up in like the culture of I do, and then I'm nothing, right? Irrational, but I got caught there, working on it, not there yet, super aware of it, right? So we had at the studio, we had a, Democratic candidate forum. And, there's whatever camp you're on, whether you're Democrat or Republican, my job as me being the human in the world, whether it's Ayana Freedom or whether it's Be Free, is to create moments where people can learn and be educated about things in the world that relate to them and equal freedom. So that is my right. That's what I will always do. So I did that. And some people took offense to that. So that was the United Cape Patriots folks. They posted all about social media, about my business. They didn't use my name of my business because I had a conversation with them about all this. But they certainly posted things like I'm spreading hate, or we are spreading hate, or those Democrats are spreading hate. And other language they used was they had to contact the Barnstable PD because just to make sure that they were safe. They were safe. Yeah. Interesting. Like, I'm not that scary. I mean, trust me, you come at my kid, you're dead. But no, I'm just kidding. I mean, well, okay. So you know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, I'm pretty open and loving and kind. I hold good boundaries and I hold you at your highest self. It doesn't always feel good, but that's where I stand. Now, they decided to protest across the studio. Like, what? First of all, it's a little silly. Just to protest a Democratic information session for the community. Like, you're welcome. Like, what? And their whole position was like back the blue, meaning like somehow we don't support police. Now here's the thing. This is where everything is fluid comes in. Everything is fluid. So when I had a conversation with them, I went to talk to them because humans are humans. I don't care what fucking camp you sit on. I connect with you because you're human, right? We are going to have difference of opinions all over the place. Doesn't mean I don't like you. Doesn't mean I don't even love you, right? I say I love you to people that have a completely different way of thinking and operating in the world on politics. But because we are all human, we all experience trauma. We all need healing in a collective way. I have conversations and relationships with those people. They're not separate from me. Now, doesn't mean I don't stand for what I believe in and make that possible. Just as means I don't put other people down in the process. Now, here's the thing. I work with police. I work with first responders. Be Free has now raised over $30,000 to help with our first responder program. And the reason that I did that is because if we're going to go to the root of the cause of the structural difficulties and structural racism within those institutions, you got to find a way to work with them. And you got to find a way to work with them closely. And you got to build relationships. Otherwise, I could stand back and be like, fuck police, right? because I don't buy into police brutality. That's not human. It's not humane. It's not okay, right? None of that is okay. And I stand by that 1,000%. My body feels it when I say it. But what also is true, which is why everything is fluid, is I have to also be in partnership with them in order to help them to understand how to shift that institution. That's been an institution for a really long time that is born and bred with a lot of racism from the ground up, right? It is like the difference of slavery. It's the channel in which Black men get then funneled to prisons. It's the same exact thing. However, so that it's not that, you can be anti-police brutality and you can also support police. It's all there is. Two can be one and the same, both and, right? That's where fluidity comes in. Now their position, the United K Patriots, is that we're all anti. Oh, so their other position was all Democrats are anti-police. There's a way, right? And then defund the police, that whole term got like taken into out of context in ways that were just like a bit fucking ridiculous. Yeah. So it's like what? Yeah. And then this is really funny. Really funny. One of them messaged me once because I wanted to join their group so I could, be a part of what was happening. Not for me. Just to get a sense of what was going on. And one of them asked if I was pro Black Lives Matter. I'm like, yo, I'm Black. Like, duh, right? I also had a conversation with them about that, right? So the whole Black Lives Matter thing, it's like somehow has gotten out of proportion in which people think that it's not something where we got to put at the forefront people of color because they're being, the simplest form, attacked and killed, right? There's a streamline in which Black people were being murdered or still are, right? It's not past tense, it's current tense. Yet, like, what? Black Lives Matter means that you don't subscribe to that that's okay. And you're going to do whatever you got to do to make sure that does not happen. And then there was a lot of conversation of, I have Black friends too. They don't believe in Black Lives Matter. Oh my Lord. Okay. Well, okay. Like everyone can do their thing. All people of color don't think alike, right? We all think very different despite what people think, right? I'm not the voice for everybody. I'm just the voice of me. So that happened. You'll see a picture that's really funny of me interacting with them and my face is kind of like this. I tried my best, you guys. I tried my best. But I did think having the conversation was super important. Because they can just do whatever they want across the street. But like clearly it's across the street from my business. So it's an invitation. It's an invitation to me. No matter what you're doing, right? No matter how many times they said, this isn't about you. Of course it was. Of course it was. Of course it was. So both things can be true. Things are fluid. The humans have to come more together. Here's where then we're done with our what was fucked up, right? So that was pretty fucked up. I mean, the whole thing. It was peaceful. It was fine. Our conversation was peaceful and fine. I'm glad I did it. Sorry, my voice is getting a little funky. And we'll see what happens from there. Our first responders program is kicking off. I really find it important to help people when they experience trauma in order to function well in the world. You think about, the first responders, how much they deal with in terms of upfront trauma on a daily basis. They're not taking care of their bodies. They're going into autopilot and auto mode and when something happens, right? They're not thinking it through. They're not pausing. They're not making decisions that are healthy for them or the person that they're handling, particularly people of color. So, because a lot of unbiased comes in there. All of it, right? If you've been trained a certain way, you're going to act a certain way. That's a whole nother training. Well, we can talk about that later. So yeah, it's all fluid. It's all fluid. Like, you don't have to be on a one way, right or wrong, yes or no. You can be like, I think this, and I also think this, right? Does that fall in democratic? Does that fall in like white supremacy? Does that fall in racism? Does that fall in injustice? But like, who, like, spoiler alert, don't matter, right? Obviously, if you're someone that's participating in white supremacy, that's not okay. But the invitation here is to own it, name it, accept it, and start to shift it. It is possible. It is very possible. I've had many, many meetings with police departments in which they have named and owned things and have been willing to work with me and talk with them about. I mean, that's huge. That's big. But again, we have a long way to go. This is a start. We're getting somewhere. And yeah, we just got to get a seat at the table and make sure people are listening. And then if they're not, and they're not hearing, and the energy isn't right, you walk the fuck out for your own personal energy preservation. That's it. All the time. Sometimes I have meetings with people and they're just not ready. And so for me to try to force that issue and use my personal energy, just like, it's not the right time. Thank you. Not the right time. And I leave. I do that many times. So let's get this shit out of our body. So that got stuck in me. Okay. It was a lot. It was a lot of stimulation. It was a lot of adrenaline. It was a lot of, I had to put walls up when I spoke to them because I was worried that was going to get into my heart space. And that takes me a lot longer to undo. So meditation, right? That's like key. Doesn't have to be this crazy long thing. My meditations will actually now be available for sale purchase on my website very soon. So I'm recording a bunch. So you got to release it from your body in some way. So for me, I really had to take time in quiet. I had to write about it. I had to think about it. I had to really work with the anger around it, because the anger in my body really, like, I can feel it still. It's in my shoulders, it's in my back, it's in my lower back. It stays stuck. And then I did some yoga. Yeah. And then I walked for a long time outside with my dog and literally did a mindful walk. So what that means is I identified everything around me that was absolutely beautiful, right? So it's like, I'm thankful for the sunshine. I mean, the weather has been so gorgeous. I'm thankful for the green trees. I got real specific about what I saw around me in the moment to help ground me back into life is good. The world is good. The earth is good. We are good together. When you get in a group of like-minded people, it fills you up. Yeah. So that's what I did. And that's the invitation for all of you to do. Is if you get in a moment where you're like, fuck this. What the fuck is this? Makes no rational sense. Say it, name it, get a group of people, gripe about it like I'm doing here, or join me on Fridays, and then figure out 3 ways you're going to move that out of your body. So for me, I made sure I meditated, I did yoga, and I went for a really long mindful walk. That's an invitation. You can do those things. It didn't take very long at all. But if I didn't do that, that kind of stuff stays in your body and makes you sick. And we don't want any of that. We want healthy people to help heal this world, because boy, we're going to need it. It's coming. Anyway, that is fucking Fridays. Oh, I went over time. I was trying to keep it at 15 minutes. All right. And hey, Christy, what up? That is it. So if you missed this morning live, feel free to play it back. It's on my YouTube channel. You can find it there. And if you don't know, I'm going to be doing a lot more of this kind of stuff. Hop on over to Ayana Freedom, which is on Facebook and Instagram. And all my stuff will be there from now on. So make sure you like it. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you, follow me. Just follow me. All right. I love you all. Happy fucking Friday. Peace out. Yay, Vanessa. Good, good, good. Yeah, every Friday. I'll be here. Bye.